All right, being 7 o'clock, I'd like to call the common council meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, roll call has been taken.
Yes.
All right, move to adopt the agenda.
So moved, Your Honor.
Motion been made by Mr. Barrington. Seconded by Mr. Dorsey. Any additions or corrections to that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Approval of 9/19/2023 common council meeting minutes.
Your Honor, I move to approve the minutes. Second.
Approved by Mr. Fiche, second by Mr. Hass. Any additions or corrections to those? With being none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried by all. Mr. Dorsey, authorization to pay the bills.
Mr. Honor, the promotion to pay the bills in the amount of $1,764,021.00.
That motion been made by Mr. Dorsey, seconded by Mr. Herder. Any additions or corrections to those? Please cast your ballots. Motion carried 10-0. All right, next on the agenda, I have a proclamation for Earl of Waters I'd like to read. To all those present, let it be known that Earl J. Waters III commenced his service as city attorney on May 1st, 1980, and during that time, he has loyally served the residents of the city of New London. And whereas Earl Waters spent countless hours in meetings and made outstanding contributions to the city of New London during his legal career. And whereas Earl Waters represented the city council and the city of New London extraordinarily well as city attorney, guiding the city through a wide variety of legal matters and issues over the course of his 42 years of service. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Mark Herder, mayor of the city of New London, do hereby express my sincere appreciation and gratitude for Earl Waters' dedication and commitment to the city and wish him the best and continued success in his retirement and future endeavors. Thank you, Mr. Waters. He is not present today, but we also have that in a plaque as well that we'll give to him. All right. Moving along, public comment. Public comment? All right, here no public comment. We will move to standing and special committees. Board of Public Works, Mr. Hess.
Thank you, Your Honor. Board of Public Works meeting was held Monday, October 2nd. Meeting is called to order at 5:15. After a pledge of allegiance, there was no changes to the agenda. To adopt an agenda, motion made and seconded. No public input. Wastewater treatment plant update. Wastewater notes were included in the packet. Review capital equipment and projects. Director Garsky advised that the committee of the top priority list to have in the 2024 budget for the capital equipment and projects. This includes replacement of old equipment that is now difficult to repair, increasing or additional accessories that assist with snow removal and future enterprise fleet lease program. No motion or vote was taken. Next was discussion on the parking fee for overnight parking on city property. Director Garsky brought back to the committee a discussion for a fee of $10 per month for those residents residing downtown city of New London. No objection to the fee was noted. An extensive discussion took place addressing multiple ideas on how to implement the program. If a sticker versus a small plaque card, and if the resident would be assigned a spot or to have designated area to park in. It was noted that Chief Schlueter was invited to come to next month's meeting, adding to the discussion, enforcement and other parking related issues. No motion made or vote was taken. Director's report, the director's memo is included in the agenda packet and was reviewed by the board. No anniversaries. Director Garsky updated the committee on the current downtown project. A detailed update was provided for the 2023 construction project. Future agenda items, discussion on the large item disposal services, and continue discussion on downtown tenant overnight parking. Being there was no further discussion, motion made and seconded to adjourn at 6:11. I would like to consider approval for reapplying for the STP Urban Grant for Pearl Street.
Second.
Motion been made by Mr. Hess, seconded by Mr. Barrington for approval, reapplying for the STP Urban Grant for Pearl Street. Any further discussion? Please cast your ballots. That motion carries 10-0.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Hess. Moving on, finance and personnel, Mr. Dorsey.
Yes, Your Honor. Finance Personnel Committee met Wednesday, October 4th. 5:15. Meeting was called to order by Vice Chair Burchett. Motion was made by Barrington, second by Roberts to approve the agenda. Motion was made by Roberts and second by Besaw to approve the September 6th meeting minutes. City Administrator Hort presented comparative data on pay for the mayor, council, and commission members. Alderman Roberts asked if there is any money available in the 2024 budget for the increase. Finance Director Aki stated the budget has had its challenges with all the inflationary pressures and adjustments, but that the 15,000 additional for wages increase would make a comparatively small impact. Alderman Besaw and Alderman Ritchie both stated that aldermen are not here for the money and that the increase is not needed. Alderman Besaw also asked if a motion could separate the commission pay decision from the mayor and council pay decisions. Motion was made by Roberts, seconded by Dorsey to recommend to council the approval of mayor's base salary to $8,400 per year, $40 per meeting attended, $60 if they're chair of the meeting. Council base salary to $4,000 per year, $40 per meeting, $60 if they're the chair. In addition to that, the planning commission to list the citizens members also be paid, and that pay is set at $40 per meeting. That'll be brought up before the council. Finance Director Radke reviewed the monthly financial reports. We discussed her director's report. There being no further business, the motion was made by Besaw and second by Roberts to adjourn at 5:58. The next regular meeting is to be held in the council chambers November 8th at 5:15. Consider approval of the monthly license list.
Motion been made by Mr. Dorsey, seconded by Mr. Herter for approval of the monthly license list. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried by all.
Consider the approval for the ordinance increase the pay for mayor, council persons, and citizen committee members. This will be the first reading.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Dorsey, seconded by Mr. Roberts. Any further discussion?
I would like to make a motion for amendment. Want to pass out the? Sure. I'd like to make a motion to amend the motion for proposed ordinance under section 1, subsection 2.10, reference base compensation for mayor and alderpersons. For sub item A regarding the mayor's pay, I would like to amend this section by striking the proposed increase in the mayor's pay of $8,400 per year and keep it at $6,400 per year. For subsection B regarding alderman's pay, I would like to amend this section by striking the proposed increase in alderman's pay of $4,000 per year and keep it at $3,000 per year. Under section 1, subsection 2.103, referencing additional compensation for mayor and alderpersons, I would like to amend the charter to reflect the following amendments.
For the mayor, striking the proposed increase of $40 per meeting and keeping it at $30 per meeting attending, and striking the $60 if chair and keeping and making it $50 per chair. For the mayor, alderperson, striking the proposed $40 per meeting and keeping it at $30 per meeting attended, whether a member of the committee or not, and must be appointed as the representative of the city, and striking the $60 if chair and making it $50 per chair. Citizens members, striking the 40 per meeting attending and change it to $30 per meeting attendant for Park and Rec Committee, Planning Commission, and Economic Development Committee. The remainder of the proposal ordinance will read as proposed in the packet. Look for a second.
I'll second that motion.
Motion been made by Mr. Beasaw, second by Mr. Ritchie. Any further discussion? Hearing none. We'll call the vote on the amendments that Mr. Beasaw made to strike the mayor's pay of $8,400 and keep that at $6,400. Strike for subsection B regarding alderperson's pay, strike the $4,000 per year and keep the $3,000 per year. And under section 1, subsection 2, or section 210, subsection 3, referencing additional compensation for mayor and alderpersons. There we are striking the $60 for chair for mayor and making that $50 for the chair for mayor. Alderpersons, we are striking the $40 per meeting and keeping the $30 per meeting for attended. And the chair, we're striking the $60 per meeting for the chairman and making that $50 for the chairman. And citizen members, we're striking the $40 per meeting attended and changing it to $30 per meeting attended to Park and Rec Committee, Planning Commission, and Economic Development Committee. So that one would be $30 for the members, citizen members. Everybody understand that?
And I think Nicole has it up on the screen to make it easy to follow.
So the black is what is existing, the red is would be the changes now,
Beautiful.
that
Thank you.
Beasaw is proposing.
All right. Please cast your ballots. Well, hold on.
Just the amendment.
On just this is voting just on the amendment. Mr. Dorsey,
Right.
that is 6 yes and 4 no's. The motion carries, the amendment carries. So that brings it back to as an original motion now, correct?
Correct. Now we're going to vote on that motion to change the ordinance as presented.
So it's the same exact thing. Are you, any further discussion
So we're voting on the First Amendment.
No, we're voting on,
on
Amended.
the amendment, but now that is the motion. Correct?
Correct. So what we're doing now is, so we passed the amendment. So now the vote on the floor is the amendments as proposed by Beasaw. Amendment of the ordinance. So if this gets passed, then the ordinance changes first reading.
Okay, so we're voting on my amendment now.
Correct.
Okay.
Again.
So the amendment passed, so now it is on the floor. So any further discussion? Hearing none, please cast your ballots. That motion carries 8-2, 8 yes, 2 no. With that, we can keep moving along.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Dorsey. All right, Mr. Beasaw, Park and Rec.
Thank you, Your Honor. Park and Rec meeting met on Tuesday, October 3rd. The meeting was called to order at 5:16. After the pledge of allegiance, there being no changes to the agenda. Motion by Bernie, motion by John Kay, seconded. Adopt agenda as presented, motion carried by all. As made the motion, Bernie seconded for approval of the July 11th, August 1st meeting minutes. Motion carried by all. Public input, none. Consider Wapaka County Emergency Management Tower installation on city property. Director Saul introduced Andrew Carlin, Director of Wapaka County Emergency Management, to advise the committee about a tower being built on the top of the sled hill by the municipal garage. ARPA funding allowed the county to add another tower to allow for communication frequencies to the unconventional. It would not interfere with the winter activities that take place on and around the hill now. It is the lattice tower that does not require any guide wires. Motion was made by Haas and seconded by Ritchie to approve Wapaka County Emergency Management Tower installation on city property. Motion was carried by all. Consider donation of a sound system for Pfeiffer Park from the London Youth Baseball Association. Director Saul presented the committee with a proposal from the London Youth Baseball Association to have a sound system that would be paid for by the group. The cost does not include installation. Agreement would be similar to the one at Hatton Stadium. The association would be responsible for any maintenance and a unit would be available for use by others than renting. Made motion and Shea seconded to approve the donation of the sound system for Pfeiffer Park from the London Youth Baseball Association. Motion was carried by all. Consider donation of water line installation at Pfeiffer Park, the London Youth Baseball Association. Director Saul addressed the committee a proposal from the London Youth Baseball to extend the water line to help with the upkeep of each of the playing fields. The London Utilities is in support of the project and will assist with the project at no cost. The association's responsibility would be in plumbing in the building and to the outlets with a master plumber. City staff would be responsible for the winter shutdown and spring startup of the system. Fache made the motion, Ritchie seconded to approve the donation of water line installation at Pfeiffer Park from the London Youth Baseball Association. The motion was carried by all. Consider donation of handicap seating and backstop netting renovation from Hatton Stadium Foundation. Director Saul addressed to committee that Hatton Stadium Foundation's next phase is to add the handicap seating platform in front of the stadium seating. Consideration of the donation from the Hatton Stadium Foundation for the handicap seating is proposed today. The chain link fence is taken down for this project. In future, a netting system would replace the fence. There would be a request for assistance with this and would be part of the capital project budget request. Haas made the motion. Ritchie seconded to approve the donation for the Hatton Stadium Foundation for the handicap seating. The motion was carried by all. 2024 capital projects presentation, Director Saul advised the committee of proposed 2024 capital equipment and projects. This included replacement of old equipment along with several projects to improve the experience for the people that utilize the outdoor and rental facilities. This included a vaulted restroom facility at the Newton Blackmore Trail, the Lemon J.C.'s Dog Park, resurfacing tennis courts at Abraham Park, replacing bleachers at Pfeiffer Park, renovation of one baseball field at Pfeiffer Park, aquatic and fitness center equipment replacements, and updating cabinetry and countertops in the senior center room. The new overflow boat launch parking pier project will have grant opportunities that can be used towards the cost along with the attached walking trail. No motion made or vote taken. Director Saul report was included in the agenda packet and reviewed by the committee. Additional comments noted as follows. Pat Kayette retired October 15th, 9 years of service. Chairman's report, there was none. Future agenda items, archery range, special events guide, memorial bathrooms, Hatton Stadium netting. Next Park and Rec meeting will be held on Tuesday, November 7th, 2023 at 5:15. There being no further discussion, Haas moved, second by Yeager to adjourn the meeting. At 6:15, motion is carried by all. I would look for approval to consider approval of the Wapaka County Emergency Management Tower installation on city property and direct staff to execute agreement.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Beesaw, second by Mr. Hess. Approval of Wapaka County Emergency Management Tower installation on city property and direct staff to execute agreement. Any further discussion? Please cast your ballots. Mr. That motion carried 10-0.
And I would look for approval to consider approval donation of a sound system for Pfeiffer Park from the London Youth Baseball Association, authorizing staff to execute donation agreement.
Motion been made by Mr. Beesaw, second by Ms. Miskowski. For approval of donation of sound system for Pfeiffer Park from New London Youth Baseball Association and authorize staff to execute donation agreement. Any further discussion on that? Please cast your ballots. That motion is carried 10-0.
And I will also look for approval to consider approval of the donation water line installation at Pfeiffer Park from the London Youth Baseball Association and authorize staff to execute donation agreement.
Motion made by Mr. Beesaw.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Roberts. Oh, Mr. Ritchie, thank you. For approval of donation of water line installation at Pfeiffer Park from the New London Youth Baseball Association and authorize staff to execute a donation agreement. Any further discussion? Please cast your ballots. Ms. Belinda.
I don't know why it's not confirming. There we go.
My motion carried 10-0. Thank you, Ms. Gray.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Beesaw. Moving along to Planning Commission, Mr. Ritchie.
The meeting was called to order at 5:15 on September 28th. Those in attendance was Chairman Ritchie, Walrock, Hunchkey, Bassett, Gabbert, and Mayor Mark. Others in attendance were the building inspector, Dave Vincent, Chad Hort, Dave Dorsey, Charlene Magowski, John Haas, Mike Barrington, and Bob Beesaw. We had two sign-ins, was Bill Fleece and Pastor Harley. The group participated in pledge of allegiance. A motion was made by Gabriel to adopt the agenda, seconded by Bassett. The August 24th, 2023 minutes were reviewed. Okay, the first action item on the agenda was the public hearing to discuss the conditional use grant application for the property located at 1500 Hunchkey Drive. Dave Vincent notified the group that all the notifications were addressed in a timely manner to meet the statute and ordinance requirements for a public hearing. Richie opened the public hearing on both members of the gallery addressing the board, Bill Fleece and Pastor Jim Harley. After allowing for further discussions during the public hearing portion of the meeting and hearing none, Hunchkey made the motion to close the public hearing. It was seconded by Gabbert, carried by all. The next item was to continue further discussion on a proposed conditional grant. The city attorney provided information for the board to add in sending possible approval of the proposal. A fair amount of discussion by the board occurred with topics including taxable income for the property not being realized and how much square footage the proposed will cover. The zoning administrator was able to recall the square footage in question. Hunchkey made the motion to table the grant proposal to the next planning commission meeting. The motion was seconded by Mayor Mark. Carried by all.
it was agreed that proposed additional space use information would be provided at the October meeting along with a written application by the owner. A public hearing notice will be issued by the city for the October meeting as well, and will also notify all property owners within 100 feet of the shared boundary notification of the public. The second item on the agenda was to review the site plan proposal by Festival Foods located at 308 North Sonnet Street. Dave Vincent and Chad provided information to the group about an easement running along the east side of the existing building and the proposed addition. In order to not encroach on the easement, the city, along with utilities, have agreed to narrow the easement to allow for the proposed addition. All the elements for approval have been met according to the zoning administration and the zoning administration recommends approval. A motion was made by Gabriel, seconded by Mayor Mark, to adjourn the meeting. The meeting was adjourned at 5:59. That's it. Well, just wait. Okay. I got a consideration for approval for the ordinance amending the municipal code to allow for the keeping of chickens, second reading.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Ritchie, seconded by Mr. Dorsey. Approval of ordinance amending the municipal code to allow for keeping of chickens, second reading. Any additional comments? Please cast your ballots. Mr. Ritchie. That motion carries. 6-4.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Ritchie. And Economic Development Committee, Mr. Roberts, you're up.
Thank you, Your Honor. Economic Development Committee was met Tuesday, September 26th at 5:15. The August 29th minutes were reviewed and approved. No public comment was provided. The city administrator Hurth provided a recap of Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation Connect Communities networking meeting that was held in New London on September 14th. Two main networking topics were highlighted, including downtown marketing and property rehab. Nearly 30 people from New London and regional communities attended the event and provided input on the two topics. Wyatt Adamovich provided feedback from his investigation for using students and school resources to assist in providing a shuttle service for the 2024 downtown reconstruction project. The purpose would be to assist people in accessing the businesses during construction. School administration stated that the school could promote to the students to volunteer, but the city would need to manage and operate the service. The committee talked about different options around the idea of the shuttle service and will bring the topic back for additional conversation at a future meeting. Chairman Roberts led a continued discussion from last month and provided a presentation with examples for placemaking opportunities in New London. The committee talked about different ideas and locations in the city for gardens, music, seating, art, movies, live theater, and food trucks. Two of the areas of focus in the discussion were the vacant lots at 203, 205, and 207 South Pearl Street and St. John's Park. Chamber's director report, Greenville Eye Care held a groundbreaking on September 26th for an expansion to offer additional eye care services. The community covered moved into a new and larger location in the Washington Center.
several downtown business owners are beginning conversation on how to team up and collaborate during the 2024 downtown reconstruction project. City Administrators report, Phoenix Mobility Rising is submitting a few federally funded grants with the intent to expand transportation services into neighboring counties. Hearth met with the new owner of John's Bar to see if he had any new plans for the property and to let them know that the city may be interested in developing opportunities on city property to the west and north of his building. Future agenda items were discussed. The next committee meeting will be Monday, October 30th, due to Halloween being the 31st. This motion to adjourn at 6:24, carried by all. That is all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts. All right, minutes and reports are distributed in your packet. Will stand as read. Moving along to reports of officers and recent events and announcements to the public. First, I'd like to apologize. After that proclamation, Mr. Earl Waters did send a thank you in his absence. So I'll read that. Thank you for the proclamation recognizing my 40 years at city attorney. I always considered it an honor. I worked with many fine mayors, alderpersons, police chiefs, city administrators, and staff over the years. Wishing my best to you all. And then I would also like to thank the New London Youth Baseball Association for your donation that we continue to be proud to create an address that we can all be proud of. I really appreciate your donation. Thank you to all employees for your service anniversaries for the month. And now I move for approval of the November meeting. We need to change that to 11/14/2023. If that works, I would need a motion and a second, and we'll have to vote on this.
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion been made by Mr. Dorsey, seconded by Mr. Herter. Any further discussion? The only thing I'll add is that we are moving that because of the week of Thanksgiving. Please cast your ballots. Mr. Herter. That motion carried 10-0. Next thing I have is I would like to appoint Miss Belinda Croy to Housing Authority Board to fill a vacant seat. That also needs approval.
Make that motion.
Motion been made by Mr. Besaw, seconded by Mr. Barrington. Any further discussion? Please cast your ballots. That motion carries 9 with 1 abstention. And thank you all for that.
Thank you.
And that is all that I have for myself. Moving along to City Administrator, Mr. Herter.
Thank you, Your Honor. 2 quick announcements. Number 1, Wisconsin DOT is working on some proposed changes for US Highway 45 and Highway 54 in and around New London. They plan on this construction in 2026. In preparation for the project, the DOT will be holding a public information meeting on Tuesday, October 24th, 5:30 p.m. within the Senior Center inside the Washington Center. One substantial change I want to point out is that the DOT is proposing to change the section of Highway 54 that's in New London. Currently, it's 4 lanes, 2 lanes going each direction. They're proposing to change that from 4 lanes to 2 lanes, and they're citing that need as safety improvements. So if you'd like to know more information about the proposed changes, I would suggest that you attend that meeting. Again, that's going to be on Tuesday, October 24th at 5:30 at the Senior Center within the Washington Center. And then recently we hosted a DNR kickoff meeting. The DNR is working with FEMA to begin a new floodplain study of the Wolf River. The study will be looking at floodplain limits in specific areas along the Wolf River in and around New London and quite a few other areas within the Wapaka County and Outagamie County. They've hired engineers from a company called Mach 4. So you might see those individuals from that consulting firm going up and down the river collecting survey data for the study. But it does sound like it's going to be a very long process. It's quite a big, long footprint to do a study on The first draft of the study sounds like it won't be ready till 2027. So it's not going to be something we're going to see results in right away, but just let everybody know that they are working with FEMA on a new study of the Wolf River, and we'll have more information as we get that. We'll pass it along. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Director of Public Works, Mr. Garsky.
Thank you, Your Honor. Some construction updates tonight. Tomorrow on Jennings Street, west of Cedarhurst Drive, they'll be taking out the asphalt over that culvert area. That's a big bump. They'll be placing a concrete pad in that place. They'll be doing it in sections, allowing one lane to remain open, with having yielding traffic in both directions. They plan on using high early concrete, so that project should be complete by end of the week. Moving to downtown, the curb and gutter is 95% complete on all side streets. They have one little stand-up curb to do in the parking lot yet. All pulverizing is complete on all side streets. Rough grading is complete on State and Lincoln Court, and they are working in the parking lot right now. Sidewalk on St. John's is 1/3 complete. For the rest of the week, they'll be continuing on sidewalk work, and they will also finish all the rough grading. Starting next week, they will begin fine grading, and they plan on putting on the asphalt binder on the side streets and parking lot next week. I also like to note that the contractor did complete the finished layer of asphalt out at Lucas Drive, Zachary Court, and Aubrey Court yesterday. And that is all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Garsky. Director of Parks and Recreation, Mrs. Salt.
Hi, thank you, Mayor. October is always a spooky season for the Park and Rec Department, so we have a lot going on. The annual Haunted Trail will be October 27th, starting at 4:30 p.m. with the trick or treating until 6:30. And then at 6:45, the scares come out with our spooky trail until 8:15 p.m. The admission for that event is $3, and there will also be concessions offered by the Lions Club. We also have a few registrations open for some upcoming programs. We have a Home Alone babysitting class that is November 13th, starting at 8 a.m. And then our men's unofficiated basketball league on Sunday nights will start the last Sunday in November. So be sure to sign up for those programs soon. And then as we wind down here at the New London Aquatic and Fitness Center, we have a few important dates coming up there. This week is enrollment for the only fall swim lesson programs that we are able to schedule because of the busy school pool schedule with the swim team and the swim club. The lessons begin the week of November 6th and run through December 14th. And then also we have a haunted swim at the Aquatic and Fitness Center. It's a $2 special swim with pumpkin themed activities around the deck. And then each child will go home with a treat bag. And then last but not least, the New London Senior Center is hosting their first ever Gym Jam rock and roll bands concert on Saturday, November 4th for seniors, and it's open to anybody in the public. We are asking that you come with 3 items for the food pantry, and then it's a $10 admission. 2 bands from the area will be performing, Pearl Street, which is a 50s and 60s doo-wop group, and then Brothers Squared that plays 70s rock and roll. The gym will be decorated in rock and roll theme for all to enjoy. So keep an eye out for all of those activities on the Park and Rec Facebook page, or call the office at 982-8521 if you have any questions or want to learn more. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Soul. That sounds like a couple of fun events. All right, Utilities Manager, Mr. Bessett, I see that he is not here today. Anybody have a report? All right, then we'll move along to Fire Department. Mr. Ritchie?
I'd like to recognize 3 of our members. Teddy Coppersmith's got 19 years of combined service. Jake Dishno with 15 years, and Tyler Stray with 15 years. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Ritchie. All right, looks like all we have is the adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Mr. Roberts. Who's second? Second by Mrs. Magowski. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We are adjourned.
Yeah.